This is a September garden video update for my North Texas, Dallas area garden. I have one whole bed of purple hull peas right here. They're a southern pea or cow pea. I'll pull the shade cloth on around noontime each day. I have some squash and green beans in this bed under shade cloth. I have a lot of cantaloupe forming. And over here, I have 3 watermelon plants, and there's 2 watermelon forming currently. Since this is my first garden video, I thought I'd just share how I created the raised beds. So I just bought some 2x8 untreated lumber at Home Depot, and this won't last as long as like using something like cedar, but it's a lot cheaper, and I'll still get a good few years out of it before it's rotten and I need to replace it. Since I put these raised beds just straight on top of our grass, I just used some leftover cardboard from our move and put that down like as a weed barrier to kill off the grass, and then I put compost straight on top of that. I ordered 3 cubic yards of compost delivered to my driveway from a nursery not too far away, and that took multiple wheelbarrow loads to get all of this from the front yard to the backyard and fill those raised beds. Earlier in the summer, when we had temperatures of 105 degrees for 40 days in a row, I kept getting these underdeveloped, smaller purple hull pea pods that only have a couple peas in them apiece. But then when I switched to using this shade cloth throughout the day, the plants have been looking a lot better, and now I've been getting fuller, more developed purple hull pea pods again. These zinnias have brought in a lot of good pollinators. I constantly see butterflies and bumblebees around the zinnias, and I think they've been helping pollinate some of our cantaloupe and a lot of the purple hull peas. I typically pick the purple hull peas each morning, and I just store them in a gallon freezer bag in the fridge until that gallon bag is full. That usually means we have enough for the recipe we like to cook. It's a recipe that my wife's family always makes in Louisiana. So I'll shell these peas. Typically getting 2 cups of shelled peas is enough for the recipe we make. But this mid-September harvest was extra good, and we got over 3 cups of purple hull peas. And then we just cook them in an Instant Pot with some chicken broth and bacon, onion, a few other things, and then we eat that over rice. Today is September 22nd, so we've only got about a week left of September. We're finally out of 100-degree temperatures. It's only been about 90s, mid-90s or low 90s for the high most days now. I've been able to back off watering every day, switch to maybe 2 or 3 times a week depending on how much rain we're getting. The purple hull peas over here slowed down quite a bit after the last batch we cooked. I'm only picking a few purple hull peas every day now, but the cantaloupe, squash are speeding up growing. Everything else is looking pretty good. I did have this one cantaloupe burst. Not really sure why, I just noticed that this morning, so I went ahead and cut it off the vine. I'll cut it into it and see if we can eat it. The tromboncino squash have been growing like crazy. The vines already were getting long in August, but now in September, they've finally been putting on some fruit. Not a ton yet, but I guess I'd rather have the plants grow bigger themselves so they'll have more opportunities to put on fruit now it's cooling off. So these funny shaped squash are a summer squash variety, but they're the Cucurbita moscata kind, so they are resistant to the squash vine borer, which I've had issues with in the past. So those are looking pretty good. There's about 1 or 2 fruits on each vine right now. Here's another. And then the butternut squash just started fruiting and flowering like crazy this week. So you can see that there's one back there. This is the butterbush variety, so these won't grow as big. But now there's just about 3 fruits on this one now. And then these 3 plants here, there, and there are the delicata squash. Hopefully they aren't too stunted from the heat in August. I'm hoping I'll be able to pick something off them before frost comes this November, December time. We will see. I've been getting texts from the guys in my pickleball group, and we got anywhere from 2.5 to 4 inches of rain last night. Everything's doing pretty well. Some of my citrus trees were knocked over, but I noticed that a lot of the cantaloupe were splitting at the top here, and one of these smaller ones had kind of fallen off the vine. So I picked these. This is the Hearts of Gold variety, and I don't think they're as big as they're supposed to be, so I googled it, and they're supposed to be 3 to 4 pounds, but these 2 larger ones are only about 1.5 to 2 pounds. So I'm not sure why they never reached the right size, and now they're just starting to split at the top. So I just wanted to pick these before they went bad. This is my Tromboncino summer squash. Got these from Southern Roots. Online it says you can harvest them when they're 8 to 10 inches long, or you can also let them like fully mature to become like a butternut squash color, and harvest them that way. But this is my first one, so I'm just gonna harvest it like more of a summer squash. Today is September 27th, and I made a comment earlier in September that the purple whole pea harvest really slowed down, but I think maybe that last rain we had made a big change, because now there are just tons of blooms on the purple whole peas again. Overall, it's been a good September in the garden, even though I got a late start to gardening this summer because we didn't get moved into our house till late May, and I built these raised beds in early June. But my squash are growing like crazy now. I think the cantaloupe and watermelons didn't produce as much as I was hoping to, and their season is kind of closing. But I did get a couple large watermelons, and of course my purple whole peas were the best crop again this year, and I'm still continuing to get a good harvest from them.